when the 2007 crash happened, they bailed out the banks. They took all the bad debt and they put it over here to the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve holds a shitload of debt. And I'm against big government, but I'm for federalizing our money supply. But no, there's one more point that I think you're going to like. A lot of the debt that's held, and there will be investors that get hurt. If we're going to do this global reset, we got to wipe out all of our debt. So all debt, your mortgages are gone, your student loan is gone, your car loan is gone. Do you know what that would do to our economy? If all the debt disappeared and then I can borrow at 0% interest from the bank, we would have a boom like you never, ever imagined.
You don't need to do any of that
in this country.
No. I got a plan. You want to fix the situation? Completely rein in Congress. Congress is.
You're never gonna rein in Congress, man.
You don't.
See, here's the deal.
You're
gonna get
no. We're doing an imaginary reset.
Right,
the three of us.
Okay,
as
here's
gods.
the honest position here. If you are if you have big debt, you're gonna sign on that plan all day long.
Everyone would sign on.
No, if you're a low debt guy like me and you don't believe in carrying debt, like you're saying, you use it, you pay it off. You leverage. I'm scared shitless of leverage. I'm a low risk, low leverage guy, but you can sleep well at night leveraging and you use it. And guys look at, and there's no doubt, guys that do big stuff, they leverage, they borrow.
I'm okay with debt.
But the guys with big debt are going to love that because you're wiping away everyone's sins.
And no, here's the thing. I'm not saying that in the future there shouldn't be debt and you actually borrow money and you have to pay it back. There's just no interest. And what I'm saying is right now, if we're going to save this country, that debt cannot be there. And I'm not fucking wiping out all the debt for the bankers and the government and not for the individuals. That's not fair. Yeah. So if we're going to wipe out all the debt, everybody's debt is getting a
hold on. Let's go back. So you're saying us three are in charge of the country.
We're in charge of the world. We're literally changing. No one's going to kill us from Europe.
You want to hear my plan then?
No one's going to assassinate you because it's us right here.
So here's what I would do.
Yeah.
First off, I'd have you arrested. And then I would sit down with him and say, all right, let's talk about how we're going to work this out. And let's be reasonable because look what happened to Baldy over here.
What is wrong with, no, give a solid reason why. If we were to say, if everybody in America stood up and said, this is what we want, and we're going to demand this. We're not just wiping out all the debt for the government and stuff because you guys overborrowed and we're going to wipe this thing out. We're going to start a new system and see how it goes.
How do you wipe it out though? Like they're saying now, like the new thing, as I've heard, is okay that this administration is going to revalue gold to $50,000 an ounce.
What?
Right? Right. That's not there. Right. Revalue the gold in Fort Knox to 50. It's right now. It's like 21,000 an ounce.
I was thinking about that.
Revalue gold to 50,000.
If we go back to the gold standard, they got. Yeah. So it was 35. It was $35 an ounce up until.
Oh
70.
no, it's 35. That's still set 35. It's still set $35 in Fort Knox. $35 an ounce.
No, but what I'm saying is, wasn't it the government policy? It was $35 an ounce.
Yeah.
But if they reset it, we get off the petro and we go gold, or silver, or a combination. What are they going to set the price of?
I'm saying if they revalue, they're saying they revalued to 50,000 an ounce, it would just take out.
Brother, right now it's trading at almost
$3,400 an ounce.
So overnight, you're a multi-millionaire. Yeah. Now, I'm going to let you know a secret.
Wait, you have a lot of gold?
I am a big believer in gold and silver outside the system in physical form.
Do you ever buy? You don't buy like ETFs?
No. Okay, gold. Have you held 20 ounces of gold in your hand, real gold? You haven't?
No.
Yeah.
It'll
change your life. And when you have some real silver coins in your hand, you do this with silver coins. It's truly God's money.
I've got my gold.
No, but I get it. I mean, it's the gold bugs, but it's a different mentality.
There's a reason. There's a reason why going way back, everybody was like any civilization, the Incas, right? The Japanese. Gold.
Okay, there's a limited supply of gold in the world, right? So we can look and assess how much gold we really have in Fort Knox. I think a lot of it got leaked to Europe. But
we have hypothecated. That's why they're not.
We just they won't audit it.
That's why they're not.
That went away quick.
Don't get me started on that. Yeah. That's why they're not truly auditing Fort Knox. That stuff is hypothecated, I think, many times over. Right? It's lent out. This, that. We probably don't have what
We don't have 20% of what they say we
No.
have. But let's say we did.
I don't know.
Let's say we did. They're
And
saying
we're doing this plan. We can tie it to the gold, which a limited resource based on how much we want to, how much currency we want in the marketplace tied to this entity, it will rise on its own. It becomes that value, right? So we can tie it to gold if you want to tie it to gold. And there's no printing or beyond a certain amount. Now the money that I put in my bank account, if the economy grows by 3-4% a year, my money's going up in value. Like there's more buying power.
now you're suggesting going back to a gold standard.
All right, hold on. You're tying money to gold.
That's a gold standard.
A gold standard.
That's what you said.
If there's a convertibility,
Yeah,
gold to gold
right.
standard.
It's either that or we have to tie it to a limited source, which is like a Bitcoin or something where there's a limited supply.
The thing is, you got to get back to what he just said. What is the price of the gold? Because right now,
It has to
It
be.
would have to be a
It
big,
has to be a mathematical problem
it has
to
to
how
be a
much
big number.
capital
I
we
heard
want.
50,000.
oh,
I read
gosh, that would be
50,000.
so great. What would that do? What would that do? Because I'm telling you right now, 40. So every month I got back on the, investing every month. Right now, for at least for the foreseeable future, 40% of every dollar I invest is going into precious metals right now. And you want to know why? Not for me. I don't care so much. I've got my other investments. For my kids in 20 years, I could say, here you go, kids. Because I don't know where this is
Is
going.
it going into ETF metals or
No,
physical
so-
metals?
You have a lot of physical metal at your house. Where do you live? What's your address?
No, I don't keep it in my house.
Oh, okay.
Of course not.
I was going to tell the audience
No.
he lives in India.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to understand the currency keeps being devalued.
That's why I have no money.
One of my best friends owns a little restaurant. I used to be able to go in there and buy breakfast for like $8-9. Great food. It's $20.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why is that?
Right.
Well, other than
Right.
they're
just told-
inflating, other than just making the cost of business, it used to be $12. It was $12 an hour for employees. Now $20+ an hour. All right. So that's unnaturally inflating the cost of business. But the reason it's $20 for a plate of eggs nowadays isn't because that's what it costs. It's because the value of your money has been deflated.
Well, that's
Because there's
gold
more,
hasn't gone
there's
up.
more money.
Gold hasn't gone up to 300-400. The dollar's gone down.
The dollar that bought 2 eggs, years ago buys half an egg now. It's the same dollar. It's you said it before. We have lost so much value to that dollar. So what does that mean? I'll tell you, one of the best books I ever read was for my kids' classical conversations. Whatever happened to penny money, or whatever happened to penny candy, and then the money myth he wrote. It's just amazing. When you understand what money is, and there's no escaping it. Money is precious gold and silver.
And I'm not going
That's
to
it.
go into religion. The Bible defines as the only real money will be in gold and silver.
Let's go into
coin.
religion. Let's talk about Jesus.
Yeah, we should.
It's not, but I mean, we could.
It makes him feel very uncomfortable. Let's talk about it.
It's
He
but
doesn't
to your
go
point,
to
it's
church.
defined as gold and silver.
He's a sinner.
Hold on, Matt. I love Jesus so much. I love him so much.
I was baptized and raised Catholic.
I'm going to tackle you.
Yeah.
And I've got some holy water in the back.
At 163, you ain't tackling me, bro.
I don't know.
Well, why don't we just finalize our new world that we're creating for tomorrow?
And then I can take you down.
And then we'll wrestle. But I think we're all in agreement. If we were to do a reset, I don't think just the banks should be forgiven. All debt should be wiped out for a fresh restart of our country with a new currency tied to gold. Limited supply, obviously, because now it's tied to gold. 0 interest if it comes from the money supply, which is now banks. There's no banks, right?
You can't do that.
If there are banks, the banks have to lend 100% of their own money.
They don't have any money.
Exactly. So why?
Well, they
why,
do because the bank has the interest they've taken from the
Okay, you can't do it. So it's like, yeah, I can own a bank, but I
That's
better
what banks.
if I'm going to lend you money, then I have to lend the money that I have, and there has to be really safe reserve requirements. And I'm saying reserve requirements should probably be 60-70%.
Okay, I'm not speaking as a fan of banks, but the only money they earn is off interest of the money that you put in the accounts, right?
No,
Right.
they make money out of thin air.
There's the
It's like, I
mouse, all
literally-
that stuff. But I'm saying if they don't earn any interest on the money or fees or whatever, then there's nothing.
No. If you lend your money, if it's your money,
Right.
you can charge interest.
Right.
But we'll have this because it's our money now, and it's controlled, but it's not lent out by like, you got to go over to the government DMV and try to borrow money. They would employ private companies who would audit each other. So I'd apply for a home loan at 0 interest. Cool, you're qualified. Let's have a double audit over here by this other company. Cool, there's your money at 0 interest. If for whatever reason I want a high interest loan or I want then I could go borrow from a bank that actually lends their own money. They don't just create money out of thin air by double accounting.
I have a suggestion. Eliminate Federal Reserve, eliminate all banks, and all just have private people.
What's private?
Exchange money between themselves for a fair rate of return,
Yeah.
fair risk scenario.
I'm good. I'm good getting rid of banks.
No, but your scenario's on the other side. No, but I get it. But in a perfect world, I think you have no central banks. Do you need it?
You don't need. You need the money supply, and as soon as the money supply is there, all you need is a mechanism to make the money based on the gold, right? And once that money supply is there, maybe you have money that gets bad, paper money that needs to be changed in, and new money's made. Maybe there's safety and quality and counterfeiting, and like you will have a department of that.
Right.
But if we wiped out all the debt tomorrow, there would be a boom like you would never see in this country
because we owe other countries. They would make war on us.
I already thought of everything. So let's say we owed money to Japan. Japan's a big lender of ours. We would switch our taxation how it should be. There shouldn't be a federal income tax. We would support the tariff is something that is good. That's there to keep jobs in America. Manufacturing left because we didn't use the power of the tariff. And we allowed the corporations to decide how we run the country and what laws we make. And they moved manufacturing to China and made China a superpower. All they had to do, if Nike came to me and said, Michael, I can't compete because Adidas is making shoes in fucking China by slave labor, I say, dude, we're not selling slave labor shoes here. We can do it because we're a capitalist country. We're going to fucking tariff the shit out of you when you bring that in here. If you want to sell,
would you say it that way? Like,
and I would say it that way.
Yep.
And I'd say, listen, if you want to sell to the biggest economy in the world, which is the United States, you open a factory here in the United States, and you can sell your goods here. And if you want to sell to the rest of the world, go open a factory in China too. Have 2 factories, sell to the world over there and over here. And if you want to bring stuff in, we're going to tariff you.
You've solved the shoe problem.
This is for everything. And now we have tariffs in place, strong tariffs for the United States to protect our jobs and our economy. And the American people don't have to pay all these crazy taxes, 50, 60, 70% after everything, right? And let's say we owe a lot of money to Japan and we want to make sure they get their money back. Well, we reduce their tariffs for a while. We credit their tariff system through that over the next 10 years. And now there's pressure off of the United States for any paying the money.
How the world did it forever until NAFTA or
I think our idea, like literally, it would be it would be great.
What was Canada charging our dairy manufacturers a tariff to get like butter and stuff? I heard it was like 285%, or was that by heavy farming equipment? And
I mean, I've been reading. Are we just like releveling the playing field? I don't know. I don't know. I don't pretend to be able to follow all that. I don't get it. Although I will say what I'm reading is so far, all the mainstream was saying, well, it's the tariff's gonna run up inflation. That's been the whole Powell thing that, we can't lower rates. And I don't believe in lower rates, by the way. I know, guys that borrow money want it, but it's not good for a healthy economy. You don't need low rates if you're a healthy economy. But, you've got this situation where rates are just they need to be higher. I think
you don't want to lower the rates like Trump wants. Huh?
I mean, I'm just saying everyone said, tariffs going to increase inflation. Powell used that as an excuse. I'm just saying it's so far. I saw today an article. So far, CPI came out today, and the CPI, the non-core, was down. Core CPI, you strip out food, energy, it was up. That's not good. Markets loved it. They ran with it. Then they're thinking they're going to cut rates September. I don't think it's going to happen. That's my personal opinion. I think Powell's going to. But aside from that, the point is that the tariffs so far are not being passed through to the U.S. consumers and causing inflation.
Well, how much are we really actually?
If tariffs are bad and they destroyed economies, then why does the rest of the world tariff the fuck
I understand.
out of the United
States?
I
don't.
What they're
I don't
telling
pretend
you
to
is they're
understand
feeding you
a
fucking spoon of bullshit.
Right.
And everybody's eating it, saying, "Oh, the tariffs are bad. Trump's crazy." And in reality, all we're doing is what everyone does to us. And in turn, jobs are starting to slowly come back. People are making commitments to build factories here. And if you really ratcheted that up, you would see the difference. And the other thing that I read, and I forgot the author, is a famous economist who lived in Japan and wrote the book in Japanese. I think he's an American or English. And he was wondering, like, why is land
He wrote
value,
about the Japanese.
why is the land value in Tokyo so crazy, right, in the 80s? And you had land in Tokyo, property, that was worth more. Like one property was worth more than all the property in California. And so what they did was they leveraged this really high value of assets to borrow money that they were printing out of thin air, and they went and bought up the fucking world.
But look what happened in Japan. Following the, is that our example?
Because it's not real, right? So what he did was, but he
Are
looked
they the
at
most
why,
indebted nation in the entire world.
but he's looking
besides
at,
the United States.
he was looking at banking, like
The
why is
lost
this?
decade became a lost.
So he
double
actually
decade.
went into the banks and he was friends with all these bankers and he spoke the language and he got in there. And he's the one that really discovered, which is not taught to us, that banks create money out of thin air.
Was this the guy who was on Tucker Carlson recently?
Oh yeah, he was on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, he's a German guy.
German.
Austrian, yeah.
And so his book was translated into English. You can't fucking buy it.
Oh, that's so funny. I want to get that book.
So am I. I can't find it. But apparently, he's all over this. He's trying to expose the banking system that we have is causing peaks and crashes over and over again, and it dilutes the economy. Like, look at what happened in Japan.
That's what the Federal Reserve is there for. It's there to manage inflation and deflation.
But
because-
prices have nothing to do with the interest that's being charged. That's another lie that you're being told. Okay, the reason prices have gone up is because the money supply has gone up.
Well,
yeah.
That's it. Like that's at the end of the day. If
That's
the
why-
interest goes to 20%, it's going to be harder to borrow homes. Home prices will come down. It will have some effect, but not to the degree that you printed 40% more supply of money in a 3-year period.
Right.
Inflation hasn't even affected. It'll take years for it to trickle down and really translate in the true cost of things. And that's why fucking people move their cash, their stock, a lot of stuff into real estate and into gold and into Bitcoin and things. The hard assets are like, dude, like this building is here, right? You want to rent from me? Like that dollar's not worth $1 anymore. You got to pay me $2. So I think our plan has some wheels, guys. I think we should,
I don't even know what the plan is.
well,
I really-
everybody manifest on it tonight. Tomorrow we'll wake up.
What is the plan? Do you know what the plan is?
There's two things, in my opinion, that we will let it go into right now. It's a whole nother show,
Yeah.
but that I think changes the whole, let's say, playing field dynamic. Two things that no one knows how it's going to truly impact everything. But number one, it's AI.
Mm.
And it's affecting the economy. And number two, the tokenization of every real world asset into Bitcoin, Ethereum. I mean, this is happening, guys. I mean, I did a show the other day, a live show Saturday. I said, look, it's not, the gold's never going to become, it's always going to be a store of value, but there's no doubt that you're going to have digital currency.
They're moving to digital
It's
currency.
moving.
It's
the whole-
100% doing. I just don't know.
I get it. You're not going to have maybe
system
you're not going to have central bank digital currency, but you have all
they
these
want central bank
Well,
digital
hold
currency.
on,
They want that.
Who is buying? So let's say you got a ton of Bitcoin. What are you doing with Bitcoin?
It's literally like you're betting. It's a bet.
It's
like
that,
a stock.
right?
Like
but
you're
you're not.
betting that it's going to go up.
You're
over
not
time.
going to hoard Bitcoin. So one day you've got the proper currency to go buy your car and buy a pizza with it. No
Well,
one's
people
doing that.
people are starting to use it a little bit, but it's not a currency. And that's why I'm saying if we took our currency and said, fuck the Federal Reserve, and we had it backed by something that's limited, and it could be a Bitcoin type thing where it's like limited. There's only this many.
But what are you What are you
Your
backing
value,
it
and
by?
we were using it as currency. Do you know how you could literally just put your money in the bank account, forget the bank paying interest, the money would just appreciate.
Look, if you would have asked me a year and a half ago about store of wealth and value, and if you don't hold it, you don't own it. If you asked me about Bitcoin, let's say, for example, I would have said you're crazy. But I've been the last year researching it a lot more, and I'm telling you, you've got it, you have this digital, the Bitcoin being the whole digital gold, type thing, and I'm telling you,
You've been listening to Michael Saylor.
No. No, but Michael Saylor, I get his theory. I get the thesis about this, but you've got 21 million of the things, and I know it's only the best. But
Well, where are they?
It's digital.
Where?
It's not like a gold coin.
I understand.
It's blockchain.
Here's
where?
It's blockchain. You've got it. I don't profess to be expert. You have to understand. You have to understand the blockchain. And
it's a
get
code. All
It's
it is,
a code.
it's a code. And
And-
here's what you need to understand.
I
It's
get
not
that-
physical. You can't hold it.
No, by the way, I own Bitcoin, but let me tell you something. Ready? What do we value Bitcoin in?
It's what people place their value
What
on it.
do we right? But what do we value it in?
With the limited supply
And what do we value it in?
Well,
dollars.
Bitcoin's more limited to gold.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. If we took
Or
dollars
is
and
it-
we convert,
it's on a computer now.
You don't change
It's all,
it. No,
it's
no,
all
there's a
like so.
protocol. Well,
What's his name? Is it Satoshi or Sagatoshi?
Satoshi.
Satoshi. I knew a kid named Kenny Satoshi. I swear. But anyway, think about it. Think about this. We value Bitcoin in dollars, and everyone's, Bitcoin's up to almost 120K, because you're hoping to do what? You're hoping it goes up to 250,000. You sell your Bitcoin and you get a 250,000 greenbacks, and you go do something with it. Because ultimately, what is Bitcoin? And you said something.
No, Sailor says you never sell your Bitcoin. Why would you? It's the
Right.
perfect money. Would you sell your gold to go into fiat? No.
would you
So it's the
rather have
same thing.
would you rather have gold or Bitcoin?
Both. I did a show the other day. Gold, Bitcoin, or both. Both. Absolutely. Gold's never going to lose its place as money for 5,000 years. Bitcoin's going to take over the money.
You can hand over.
And not as day-to-day transactional. That'll be all the other altcoins and maybe other stuff. Right?
I have two thoughts on it, and I agree.
Bitcoin's going to take over.
I think there's so much momentum now behind it, with all the banks now getting behind it and the investment funds, BlackRock, everybody's getting behind it. So there's
hundreds
something there.
of billions of dollars.
There's something
You
there.
don't have 180 now Bitcoin reserve companies around the world putting in trillions of dollars into this, hundreds of billions of dollars. They're converting their whole purpose of their business purpose to put everything into Bitcoin. Why? Something you have to question it. Is it just a Ponzi where they're just hoping the next greatest
They're
fool?
riding up like they do on everything. So we'll be the last to know to sell it. That's the problem. And you can't physically hold it.
No,
So
I think it's greater than that.
I did a whole.
I don't think it's the bag holder theory. I think it's there's something greater than that.
I'm going to tell you, don't think because BlackRock is exploring it.
Not exploring it.
No, they're heavily invested in it.
Billions.
Just because everybody's jumping into it, like I'm still trying. You mentioned something like you said you don't, and I don't know if you understand, but I consider myself to be an intelligent guy. I spent a couple hours just trying to figure out what blockchain is. I can't. And that tells me right there, I don't understand it. I don't understand it for a reason. But I do understand certain things, man, from the streets, right? I could smell the bullshit when it's wafting in the air. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody's getting.
I don't own any Bitcoin.
If you bought a Bitcoin at $2,000, you could have sold it for 120 grand, and you got your American fiat cash, and then you go buy your Ferrari or whatever. But everybody's pricing it in dollars, and everyone's looking. Oh, it's up to.
But
X
how
and X
is that
dollars.
different from any asset?
The point I'm trying to make is, what is the Bitcoin?
It's an investment.
Where is it?
It's in space.
It's an idea on
It's
the
on the computer
the
cloud.
computer, right?
It just has to be the greatest performing asset in the last decade, though.
So we're the tulips, man.
Okay.
Now look, again,
Okay.
I own Bitcoin,
Right. Yeah.
but I'm just saying, I think,
How many Bitcoins do you have, Jim?
don't worry about it.
He doesn't have any Bitcoins.
But
No, you don't have any Bitcoin.
I don't have any Bitcoin.
it's just, I historically, since the beginning of time, man wanted what? They wanted land. They wanted gold.
I get it, but the paradigm is shifting.
And women.
They're
Guys,
always going to want land.
But
The
the
land, they're not making any more of it, guys.
thing, what do you get on land? You got to pay property taxes. You got to deal with bullshit. You've got maintenance, and what do you get? 10% on your money a year if you're lucky.
Well, you live on
land.
it.
Oh, you're by the house then. Your
I'm
residence.
talking about, like, I
Oh,
wouldn't.
yeah,
want
about
to-
investment property.
Investment in properties, you're going to make a lot more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because you can depreciate it over 20 years. Your tenants are paying off your mortgage. It appreciates every year. You get cash flow. Like even if it's an 8 cap, you're making 15, 20% unrealized annually, and it's leveraged.
And the tax benefits, to
Dude,
it is amazing.
it's just like you can, off a $1 million building, you can make 200,000. You might only pocket 70, 80, but you're really making about 200,000 with the hedge of inflation, the pay down of the mortgage, and the tax benefits. If I have 100 million, I'm making 20 million a year. Every year I make 20 million. I may only pocket 8 or 7, but I'm making 20 million a year that I can
No,
bank.
I'm not anti-property. I'm saying I wish we'd come back here in 5 years and have this discussion.
I want to throw something out at you. What about this Ethereum? You know, I actually bought I'm going to kill myself. I actually bought a ton of Ethereum when it was like 700
Right.
bucks.
You know what's that today?
And then I sold it.
You know what's that today?
3,400?
4,500.
Okay. What differentiates Bitcoin from Ethereum?
It's different. Ethereum, as I understand it, has the rails where a lot of these Web 2, a lot of this stuff's running. They're using Ethereum as like their platform.
Yeah.
Yes. The three biggest coins is Bitcoin, then Ethereum, XRP. XRP is the rails for what they're trying to do is give Swift a run for their money where they can provide faster. XRP, you can do transfer money around the world.
What's XRP at now?
Right now, it's like 328, 330. So they all have their own purposes, right? Bitcoin's never going to be a daily, I want to go buy my lunch with it. Well, there will be some, but Bitcoin will be like the store of value, it'll be like the gold equivalent. Ethereum, maybe a lot of these things are going to run on Ethereum.
Yeah, so one day I could say, hey, I'll give you my Bitcoin for $500,000.
Let's say all your money was in Bitcoin today, and 5 years from now, which is very feasible, AI and quantum computing take the fuck off. The average person will have the ability to create viruses that can break into any fucking wall.
I've read that.
And wipe you the fuck
They're
out.
saying that.
And now I own my buildings, right? I got my gold, and you're like, fuck.
But that's why you asked that's why you asked the
And
question.
who's you gonna run to?
That's why you asked the question.
Who do you run to
That's
get
why
your
you
money
asked the
back?
question. I said both. You never go
All
all
in.
in. Okay. But, you know, if your 0.01 of a Bitcoin, whatever, is worth $1 million in 5 years, would you go convert it to fiat, maybe to buy land, maybe to buy more gold? So then you go into other hard assets.
You don't go all in, Jim. Like when you go to a gay club, I tell you, don't go all in.
He likes those. I wrestle with them. I'm definitely not, but you can't just sit there and watch the train pass you by.
Well, I invested in this company called Rove, which was a startup virtual coin, right? And like all these pretty smart people told me to invest, and I don't know, I put 150 grand or something into it. And they're like, you're buying at 0.00000.
You were the liquidity to sell.
So they were like, oh, if it gets to 1 penny,
yeah,
you make $70 million or just some stupid number. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, just
And
throw
you
it,
did.
take the
then they
flyer
dumped it.
and I don't know what happened to it.
It's gone.
It's
gone.
I didn't get an update. I think I got one like conversion update. No one's updated me.
How's anybody making money off of meme coins? Like, what's a meme coin?
I don't know.
And look,
What's the internet, Jim?
if I can't understand it, then I kind of stay away with it. I'll play with it.
Guys, we all need to stand up and say, let's wipe out our debt. Let's get rid of the Federal Reserve.
So we can wipe out personal debt, but you understand how much money do we owe the Dutch right now? You know, we always think about the Chinese, but the Dutch, the Japanese.
It's like 50-60% is owed to the Federal Reserve, which is a bank that's privately owned. A lot of the other debt, 30%, is owned to other banks that truly like leverage it and pull it out of thin air through the Federal Reserve and the low system. So we're basically wiping out all the banks.
Why do you think that foreign countries are dumping U.S. bonds at a record rate?
Are they really?
What? Yeah.
I haven't followed that.
Yeah. China's dumping U.S. bonds. You've heard about the BRICS?
Yeah.
Why didn't the BRICS reform?
We know they were buying
Why do you
hordes
think?
of gold.
Well, they
too.
are. The central banks are hoarding gold. Not the U.S.
No.
Not Canada.
The American economy will crash in our lifetime. It's gonna crash. It's gonna crash.
I just saw the stats today that the debt just increased. It's gone up in the last quarter.
And they're gonna blame capitalism. This is what the news is gonna tell you. Capitalism broke us. All the greedy capitalists. Now we need a different system. We're gonna switch to a digital currency that's tied to you, which is like going back to the Bible, the whole mark of the beast. This is what's gonna happen in our lifetime. I swear to God. And everyone's gonna lose their fucking job from AI. Guys, have a good night. The day the chains fell, quiet. No ticking clock of debt remained. No banker's hand, no ledger chained. The farmer's field, the maker's mind. Breathe freer air for humankind. No interest gnawed the seeds we sowed. No hidden toll along the road. Each dollar born to serve, not bind. A tool of trade by all designed. A wealth no longer flown away, but circled back where people stay. A river kept within our land, poured into every working hand. That day the change fell soft, unheard, and freedom was not just a word.